Hello there everybody and welcome back to the Iron Ogre channel, one of your favourite channels on the internet of course. And if you couldn't tell, I do have a bit of a cold, so if I sound a bit weird throughout this video then you know why. But anyway, we're going to be reviewing Captain America the Winter Soldier. We are now halfway through phase 2 with this film, and it is probably one of the highest rated MCU films, you know. When you ask someone, hey, what's your favourite MCU movie? A lot of the people would say Captain America the Winter Soldier. So it's very cool that we get to review this now, and I won't keep you waiting any longer. Let's review it. Alright, so Captain America the Winter Soldier is the film where Captain America really gets to shine and feel more independent. This is the film where Captain America truly feels like Captain America. Because you had the other films he was in before. He was in 2 MCU films before this. Captain America the First Avenger and The Avengers. And although he still felt like he could, handle a situation independently, he still had the help of others. Even in that first film, he, was kind of a rebel and, disobeyed orders, but for a lot of the times he did follow orders from people and he asked permission to do things. And also it is a war film, so he had the help of other soldiers, the Howling Commandos. And in the Avengers film, even though he is basically the leader, he is still a part of a team. But in this film, apart from a couple of other people like, Falcon, Black Widow, and Nick Fury in some parts, he is mostly working on his own. They're just sort of, Falcon and Black Widow, they're just sort of there to help him out, really. But Captain America, he is the main bloke in this film. And yeah, you get to see him shine in this film in a way that he didn't in the previous 2 films. So this is probably the film that really got people to love Captain America. If it wasn't for this film, Captain America probably wouldn't be as many people's favourites MCU heroes. But, thanks to this film, they made him a great character and look like, he is able to handle a situation without needing the help of other soldiers and, other superheroes. Well, apart from Black Widow and Falcon, of course, but it was mostly him. Now, since we're on the topic of Captain America himself, we gotta talk about how sexy he looks.
Why are you gay?
Nah, not in the homo way, but I think you're gonna know what I'm saying when you see this photo here. Look at Captain America right here, in that beautiful suit. Definitely not my favourite Captain America suit in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it is definitely up there, with one of the best. Probably top 5, maybe top 3, possibly even top 2. Maybe not, probably not, but still, it is a sexy suit. At the time that this film first came out, it was the best suit. It was better than all the previous suits Captain America had in the MCU, which is actually saying quite a bit, because even though he only had 2 MCU appearances before this, he still wore quite a few suits. He wore 3 or something in the first of Captain America film, and then he had a new one in the Avengers, which I think is quite a cool suit in the Avengers. But at the same time, it does look a bit silly, but I like it, to be fair. But yeah, this suit, absolutely sexy. Pretty cool that it came back in Avengers Endgame. Something I also do like about Steve Rogers' character is that they do not ignore the fact that he is an old bloke who missed out on a lot of things that happened over the decades. Because, I wouldn't have been surprised if they just did, alright, he was in World War II, was in a coma that lasted years, he came back, was in the Avengers, a few old man jokes thrown around, and then boom, we go to the sequel, big action sequences. There you go. And yeah, I would not have been surprised if they just ignored the fact he was an old man and treated him like any sort of young man his age. But no, they still acknowledge the fact that he is old and acknowledge the fact that he is not used to the world that he is in right now. They even give him a little notebook thing that he writes, down things that he missed out on so he can check them out. And I really like that inclusion, especially since it was brought back in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think Bucky used it because he missed out on a lot as well, didn't he? So yeah, I think Steve Rogers in this film is really great and probably the best he's been in a film. I mean, the characters overall in this film were just, pretty good. You could take the villain seriously. I really like the idea of Project Insight, and you see the good in the idea, and like how it can like save people. But mostly it's full of bad, really, isn't it? And Nick Fury. Nick Fury is quite an important character in the MCU, so I've always thought that we don't see him enough in films. I mean, I know he's had lots of appearances, but a lot of them are just credit scenes, and even when they're not credit scenes, a lot of the times it's like a little cameo. And in Far From Home, when he was in that film quite a lot, we found out it wasn't even Nick Fury himself, and it was Talos. So yeah, Nick Fury is one of them characters that doesn't really he's important, but we don't really see enough of him. But apart from the first Avengers film that came out in 2012, I think Captain America: The Winter Soldier is the film where we see him the most. It's debatable whether he shows up more in this or if he shows up more in Captain Marvel, but still, he has a bigger role in this film than he does in most of the films he's in, and I like that because I like Nick Fury and I like Samuel L. Jackson. The only kind of weird issue I have with the characters in this film is that Black Widow's character in this film feels way different than she's in any other films. Like, she doesn't take situations as seriously in this film as she does in other films, and she's a bit jokey as well, and she can be jokey in the other films, but not usually to this level. I don't know, she just feels really different in this film, and it's not even like her personality in this film carries on into the next film. No, her next film after this is Avengers Age of Ultron, and she's back with the same personality from the first Avengers film, so to be honest, I don't really know what they were doing with Black Widow here, and it's definitely not directors, because the directors of this film directed Infinity War and Endgame, and she still feels like a Black Widow from the first two Avengers films in those last two Avengers films. So yeah, she just sort of feels odd in this film. Speaking of characters, this film gave us one of the best. It may not have introduced this character, but it changed him quite a bit, and it impacted his character, throughout the MCU. The Winter Soldier, aka Bucky Barnes. If you don't remember, Bucky Barnes showed up in the first Captain America film. He was literally like Steve Rogers' best mate, and he died apparently in that film, but he didn't really, because he's back in this film, and instead his mind is now being controlled by Hydra. That just adds a lot of tension to a film that already has a lot of tension in it because of the amount of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents that are secretly Hydra. This just adds a lot to it, and adds a lot of emotion, because now Captain America has to fight his best friend. But even, we have that, he's also a sick assassin. He's actually really cool to watch. The hand-to-hand combat he has with, when fighting other characters is actually amazing, and the idea of the metal arm is really cool, and he has a lot of gadgets, some cool gadgets like guns, and he has that little thing that goes under cars, and his arm, I'd say, is like a gadget really. But yeah, he's just really cool, and seeing him fight Steve Rogers in that final battle was really emotional, and then when we see him pull Steve out of the river, that just hits you, doesn't it, really? Hits you like a metal arm. Yeah. Airball. Anyway, yeah, this film brought back a character who we thought was dead and would never show up again, and it turns out that Bucky Barnes / Winter Soldier would become one of the more interesting MCU characters. He's not like one of the big superheroes like Thor or the Hulk or even Captain America himself, really. He doesn't have the shield. His what's it called now? His super soldier serum is not quite as good as Steve Rogers, but still, the character himself, because he died back in World War II, but then Hydra brainwashed him and turned him into an assassin, that just makes his character incredibly interesting, especially when he becomes himself again, and he has to deal with the guilt. It's just great, the fact that this film introduced the Winter Soldier, and then, they made this film impacted Bucky's character a lot, and if it wasn't for this film, his character wouldn't be as great as he is, because, not gonna lie, Bucky is a great character in the MCU. I really like him. He's not like one of the most powerful, but he is still a great character, and that's thanks to this film. Seriously though, I'm telling you, I cannot stress how good the action sequences are. Like, look on your screen right now. This is like top-notch MCU action scenes. I mean, I'd say this was better than Black Widow vs. Taskmaster in the Black Widow film, which, I mean, is kind of upsetting for Taskmaster, since like he is built for just having cool action scenes, really. That's the whole point in him, but oh well, at least it gives this film a plus that it was better than a fight scene with Taskmaster and Black Widow. But yeah, seeing these two best friends fighting each other in this cool way after seeing them fighting side by side in Captain America's First Avenger is so mad, but cool. You'd never expect it, really, would you? You wouldn't expect the two best friends in World War II in the first Captain America film to have the best action sequence when they're fighting each other. It's bloody glorious. I mean, this scene alone is just a standout Captain America moment. I mean, the other films that it was in, like I said, they have their moments, but this film is where Captain America really shines, because look at this. Imagine being a comic fan back in the day, and then someone from the future just came and showed you this scene and said, yo, this is from a future Captain America film. They would be absolutely buzzing, because the other Captain America films we got before the MCU were that one that, like, hardly anyone knows about in the 90s, and then other ones from the 70s, which, yet again, hardly anyone knows about. But yeah, this scene is what really made me think, yo, Marvel know what they're doing with these characters. This is exactly what I want to see from Captain America. They don't make him look like, you know, like he's huffing and puffing every time he got swung at or swung for someone. Because, let me tell you, the Captain America from the 90s, he was like that. He was huffing and puffing, and you didn't really, you know, feel like he had super soldier serum half the time. But this film, it did feel like he had super soldier serum. I mean, in the first, you know, Captain America film, you could see him running fast and all that, but we never saw him fight very fast, you know. There was nothing too impressive with his hand-to-hand combat in any of the films before this. I mean, even in Avengers, he was fighting aliens, but like, he didn't do anything too impressive when it came to hand-to-hand combat. But here, you can definitely tell that he is full of that super soldier serum.
Bucky? Who the hell is Bucky?
Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and give this film an A-. It's definitely one of the more mature and serious films in the MCU compared to a lot of the others, because a lot of them are just pure comedies, like Thor Ragnarok, Spider-Man Far From Home, and sometimes it feels like they can, you know, go a little bit overboard, like Guardians of the Galaxy 2. But this film has comedy in it, but it's not literally thrown everywhere. It's like the average amount you'd get in like any other action movie, really. So yeah, this film is really good, especially for that reason I just mentioned. More serious, and honestly, it's actually more dark as well, and I love me a good dark MCU film. Anyway, everyone, that is going to be it for this video. And yeah, the last time I reviewed a Captain America film, which was the first Captain America film, was well over a year ago. It was literally July 2020. And honestly, the funny thing I find about that video is it's the video where it sounds like I'm starting to hit puberty, because like the other videos, I'm not incredibly squeaky, but I'm not deep. I sound like a child, basically. I mean, I still sound like I'm in primary school up until that Captain America review, if you've noticed. If you want, watch other videos from Iron Ogre in order, and when you get to Captain America, you might know what I mean. And yeah, the next Captain America movie I have to review is Captain America Civil War, and Marvel will be releasing Captain America 4 with Sam Wilson, so yeah, the Captain America review series will actually be going on for quite a while, and this was just part 2. And by the way, just something to look out for, I am trying to upload more on this channel. My goal is every week, but I doubt I'll be able to reach that goal, so more like every other week, hopefully. And that's why I'm not as active on War Machine Ogre channel anymore, because I'm focusing on this one. Anyway, hope you all did enjoy this video. If you did, you can like, and if you didn't like the video, you can dislike. Do whatever the hell you want, couldn't care less. Anyway, goodbye.